Before we get started here, we want to give a big shout out to our friends over at OmniLab have been taking communication to a whole nother level. We're living in a time right now where you can't be visiting your friends and your family, checking in with your loved ones. Their telecommunications robot is allowing you to visit them with the most simplistic of ways, being able to dial right into a 4K camera that also has web conferencing abilities. So, visiting loved ones as a group is possible to check in with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever it may be. So, if you're looking for the best possible deals to make sure that you are taking advantage of this wonderful tool to take you into 2021 and beyond, make sure you check that description and below for OmniLabs, their telecommunication robot. And also, our friends over at Buzz TV have been making waves in the streaming community last year, and they're continuing to take it to a next level this year. They have some really interesting devices that we talked about on our Beyond the Streams interview with them. So if you missed that, make sure you check it out. And in the description below, there's going to be coupon codes so that you guys will continue to get the best deals from Buzz TV. So make sure you check that in the description below.
And getting a VPN, guys. VPNs are so important right now. There's just so many things, people getting hacked, people getting ISP letters and DMC takedown notices, and just securing your information. You literally never know when somebody is watching you. So make sure you guys do get a VPN, because you do want to make sure you guys are protected. VPN does so much more than just protect your privacy. It gives you that peace of mind. And the same way how some of you guys have an antivirus to protect your computer from those attacks, getting a VPN just makes sense. Make sure you guys do check the description below. We have several links in there that we do recommend and we do like, we've tested. So make sure you guys do get yourself protected. It's all in the description below. Make sure you do get that protection.
Make sure to subscribe to our channels and the podcast, and always leave us a comment or a review to let us know how we're doing and what kind of content you're looking forward in the future. With all that being said, guys, let's start the show.
And welcome back to another weekly tech news. Oh man, I'm still waking up. So
while Rojas wakes up over there, I am a lot more awake than Rojas today. He is a sleepyhead. But weekly tech news has been a segment that we've been doing for about 3, going into 4 weeks now. It's going to be our first month doing this tech news. Yep. And it looks like it's pretty successful. I actually like it. I enjoy it, especially the comments that we're getting on them. People are really enjoying staying up to date with the latest tech news. So I think that this is definitely something that we're going to continue doing, and the articles are only going to get juicier and juicier.
Yeah. Speaking about juicy, this is pretty nice, man.
Juicy.
This is juicy. Well, I don't know if I want to call it nice, but there's some rumors that Nvidia Shield might be done. Done. I don't know. You guys be the judge. Let us know in the comments section below. What do you guys think about this? This is very interesting. So this has been something that's been ongoing for a while. Rumors suggesting Nvidia could stop making the Tegra chip that powers the Shield TV. Now, I know we just got this Stogie stick last year, and they've had this refurbished Fire Stick. They've had this refurbished Nvidia Shield box for the last, since what, 2017? They just keep changing the remote.
Yeah. Well, it's the same one as the 2015.
2015, my bad. Yeah, 2015. They took away the storage in 2017, and then they changed the remote in 2019, but it's the same damn thing. So we're in 2021. What are they going to do? Take away the green light, change it blue?
You know, if they get rid of the Tegra chip, I still think they're going to continue with the Pringles can. I don't think they're going to do very many upgrades to it. They may just continue changing the remote, because if we look at the original Tegra processor, that lasted 5 years straight. Absolutely no changes. If any of you guys watched Rojas and I's live stream, or even the video that you put out, you spoke directly to Nvidia, who confirmed they're not even running the Tegra X1 on their Pro version, right?
Nope.
So maybe they think the Tegra X1 Plus is going to be viable for the next 5 years, and they're just going to keep re-releasing the stogie can. I don't know what you want to call it.
I hope not. I hope if they want to continue with the stogie can and just make a part 2, Pro Plus, XL, whatever, whatever, that's fine. I really do hope they have that the box though, the actual box, because it comes with just a little bit more. Unless they could jam pack it inside that stick, the difference between the 15 and the 19th is like codecs. Like that's really some of the biggest differences, but people really don't know or even care. As long as it plays is what people say. It's like as long as it plays, who cares? But
Right.
check this out. This is something that's very interesting. So this is from a Bloomberg report. They hinted that an updated Nintendo Switch console could be on the horizon. Rumors surfaced focusing on the chip that powers both the current Switch as well as the Nvidia Shield TV line of streaming services. So it looks like they're going to be powering Nintendo pretty soon. I don't know. It's, I don't want to go too far into this article. You guys could just come here to Cord Cutter News and then just search that title. It just came out just a few days ago. But I'm kind of, I don't know, if they're gonna put a an Nvidia Shield, and I shouldn't even call it the Nvidia Shield, the Nvidia. If they're gonna put a dedicated Nvidia chip, and I don't know what they're gonna call it. Maybe not. They're not calling it Tegra anymore. They're gonna call it something else because they're gonna make something else. I really do hope. What is the thing that you say that people don't buy Nintendo for its graphics?
Right.
But when you look at some of their graphics, it looks pretty cool because it's cartoonish, but there's been games that like what is it? South Park. Have you ever played South Park on either Xbox or PlayStation? Oh, you don't like South Park, huh? Because they make fun of Canadians, eh? So hear me out on this. The South Park cartoon, when you play it on the video game on the consoles, looks identical. Yeah. You cannot tell if it's the show or if it's a video game.
Right. It was 2D.
That's how clean it looks, but it looks really clean though. Right. When you play a cartoon-based game off of Nintendo, you know that you're playing a video game.
But you know why though, right? Because they're actually limited to 1080p. They're not running 4K. Like the Switch is 1080p, and even
I wouldn't call it that though, because on the PS, was it the PS3 when the first South Park game came out? It was 1080p,
I guess.
And I played it. Oh, so okay, so I think it was called the Stick of Truth. The first one, the first South Park game. I played that game on my computer, and I know I'm running 1080p. I wasn't running any. I wasn't pushing. I didn't care about 4K. I was like, yeah, as long as it looks great. And I felt like it was a cartoon. But for Nintendo, if they put a chip in like this from Nvidia, I really do hope they have. I don't know. I just hope that they make the cartoon graphics look clean, like really clean. You know what I mean? Like just like almost real.
So, my opinion about this whole rumor is that I kind of think it's true, and the reason I think it's true is because I think that there's going to be a bigger push towards GeForce. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about GeForce, but with cloud gaming and the computing being done in the cloud, they don't necessarily need all the hardware and the specifications locally, right? On the actual device itself. Now, I think that Nintendo still has a big market, in regards to local gaming and needing that hardware there. And I think that it kind of makes sense for them to use the power of Nintendo while Nvidia capitalizes on its GeForce Now. To me, that makes sense, right? They can cut costs by stop producing these outdated 2015 shields, just produce these stogie cans, which are cheaper, and just keep pushing their monthly subscriptions to their GeForce. So I guess that is a great segment into Nvidia is doubling down the price of its GeForce Now cloud gaming services for new users. So if you didn't have GeForce before, are you gonna get it now?
I'm kind of interested to see. It's funny here. They have this big old TV with GeForce on it. They got a laptop with Cyberpunk. They got another laptop with Apex. They got a cell phone here. Then they have another cell phone with the controller joysticks, and then another weird looking laptop. And then they have the Nvidia Shield right next to it with the remote, which is funny because they don't give that remote out anymore.
You gotta kill somebody for that remote.
Yeah. I have it back from 2015. I still got mine. Dude, okay. That remote
Is nice.
is nice. Yeah. It's very nice.
Right.
I would have to say, out of all the remotes that I've played with PlayStations, Xbox, and everything, that remote, man, I don't know what it is, but that remote is great.
It's got a nice size and it's not overly heavy. I find with a lot of the newer console remotes, they're heavy. The controllers, they're kind of heavier.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's all right. So the catch, okay, so it says the change will come with a price increase from what used to be $4.99 a month to $9.99 a month. Nvidia will start offering a $99.99 per year priority subscription. All I gotta say is, damn, that's freaking nuts, dude.
When this first came out, it was free.
Yeah, see, choose a membership, free or priority. And what's the difference? It says, okay, free, you get a 1 hour session length, standard access. So you get 1 hour free to their gaming platform. But with priority, of course, it's priority access to gaming servers, extended session length. That doesn't say unlimited.
That's true.
That does not say unlimited. So why the hell am I going to pay $10 for extended? What if I want to play all day? And then RTX on. Ooh, come on, really? I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this.
Okay, so I just did a quick Google search. Extended sessions is up to 6 hours. Maybe you should take a break after 6 hours.
No, I want to play Fortnite for 7. Damn it. There are some gamers out there that just want to grind. You know what I mean? And they should have a parental thing in there that says, hey, if they want to do a 6 hours extended, okay, whatever. But you're not my dad.
You're not my dad. I love that GIF. I use that all the time.
You're not my dad. You're not my dad. So nxtlvl and I, when we were little Rojas and little Next, this was like a year ago. When we were grinding on these videos and recording all this stuff, I'd be like, dude, we need to record today. And then he'll send me a GIF. You're not my dad.
It's true.
I'm like, what the hell, dude? Get on freaking StreamYard. Jerk, get on here. So okay. This is what scares me with Nvidia. From the first article to this article, if they're going to discontinue their Tegra and now they're going to be pushing their GeForce, I know you could use GeForce and everything on your computer and all that stuff, which will look amazing and everything, but let's be real. Gaming is not the same on a computer versus the big screen. Like, I know there's some hardcore gamers that will set up their cameras and everything. They'll get on Twitch and they'll game and everything, but that's because they're doing it to make money. They're doing it for clout. They're doing it for whatever it is, you know? I guarantee you, all those Twitchers, is that even a word, Twitchers?
I was like, is that similar to a tweaker, or is that something
That's
else?
what I was thinking too. All these tweakers. So all these people on Twitch, dude, I'll guarantee this because I talked to a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them tells me the exact same thing. They have more fun playing their games when they are on their big TV versus their computer. So
My argument to that would probably be not everybody has a nice TV. And for instance, my monitor that I'm on right now is nicer than my TV. And I would prefer gaming on this monitor than my actual big TV. It's got a better frame rates, it's got a better picture. And I know when the pandemic first started and I was looking for monitors, they were actually hard to find. And when I talked to like a person at Best Buy, they were like, yeah, everyone's buying the monitors for the new consoles because of the refresh rates and whatever it is. So I don't know if every situation is going to be the same, but I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, you know what? And even I'm trying to think of my other TV. No, you know what? When I had, remember that video I did that I had the projector
Mhm.
and I was showing the gaming on it, the PlayStation, dude, I had that thing left, like I left it on there for maybe a week and a half.
Yeah.
And I was playing on this wall. It graphics didn't look amazing, but I was just having a much better time just because of how big it is. I plugged that thing in. Remember that other video I did with that big old 17-foot projector, the 17-foot projector screen. So I hooked that up and I brought the PlayStation out, the PS4 out there. I hooked it all up. Dude, the only reason why I took it down was because it was going to rain the next day. Like, seriously, like I had to take it all down, pack it all up and put it away. And I'm like, damn, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, this would have been nice to just hook it up there. And you know what? I'm actually thinking once the summertime comes around to have like a gaming night. I know there's like movie nights,
Mhm.
but I'm thinking about gaming night. Like,
So this is I guess I'm rambling at this point, but I worked downtown Toronto for one of the biggest banks in Canada, and you were not in the in crowd in this department unless you were good at Call of Duty. And every Thursday was game night. And we would all, there was like 20 of us that would jump on Call of Duty every Thursday. And all of our families knew, leave us the F alone because we are going in.
yeah,
And everybody had like a different role. And it was the first time that I've experienced a culture, like a gaming culture like that, where you were not in the in crowd if you weren't good at Call of Duty. I'd never played Call of Duty before I got that job position. Do you imagine getting a job position and then knowing that you had to get good rapport with your manager, you had to learn how to play a video game? But my last final thought on this is that on our recent live show, we talked about how to, or our suggestions in regards to buying memberships of subscription-based services for a year. Now, if we're going to start to see this for cloud gaming, people are going to have to decide which ones they're going to want to buy and which ones are going to be worth to buy for yearly if there's yearly discounts. For instance, we recommend buying Disney Plus over, let's say, a Netflix for the year because there's more value to it. So how do we figure out, is there going to be more value to GeForce Now, Stadia, Luna, Xbox? Like there's so many different ones now. People are going to have to figure out which ones they really want and which one's going to be around for a year.
Yeah, for sure. Totally agree. Some things that you guys got to figure out. Things that make you go, Walmart is making an Android TV stick under its ONN brand. Have you even heard of this ONN brand?
They're the cheap brand for Walmart. I was a manager at Walmart, so yeah, I have heard of it.
That sentence in itself is just hilarious. They have their own cheap brand when Walmart's already known it to be cheap. So Walmart
Whoa,
sells
bro.
everything from Roku powered smart TVs to tablets to gaming keyboards under its affordable. How do you even say that?
I get, yeah, on.
On on. It's like double N's, all ONN brand. Um, it looks. I don't know. The remote kind of looks.
I'll say it for you. It looks cheap.
Yeah, it looks almost like they ripped off the Fire Stick's remote. They added their. I know it's sideways. I wish I had a
Yeah,
better picture of this
looks
thing,
like they
but
stole the Google remote, the Chromecast remote. That's what it looks like.
oh, here we go. It's opening up Twitter. So okay, so it's got the so imagine Alexa up here or Juanita up here. It's got your power button, your return button, your settings, your favorites, up, down, left, right, directional. It's got a reverse home. It's got the little TV that freaking the Fire Stick has. You see that?
Yeah.
Little TV, and then it's got a plus minus up down, which I'm guessing is your TV and your volume, and then your mute. So
That's
it looks
weird
like
that it's got that TV button. Now that's throwing me for a loop.
yeah,
Okay,
dude,
anyways, keep going.
this looks like a Fire Stick one, like the Fire Stick Lite. And then they added all these buttons here.
Ooh,
So
a Disney Plus button. That's actually kind of cool.
I like that. I like the Disney Plus, HBO Max, and
Yeah.
Netflix. It's kind of like the big competitors. Um, do you know what the specs are on this thing?
No, I haven't read anything about it yet. It says that it's a 2K device, so it's not 1080p, it's not 4K.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
launching at 2K.
it does have some of the specs on the bottom of that article. It says that it's going to be using an M Logic S805Y, which I'm confused what an S805Y. I've heard of the S905Y and the S905Y too. What the heck is an 805? I have no idea.
S905, S805. It almost sounds like it's going backwards. Well, I know that the 905s give 4K, so maybe that's what it is. 805 is just a previous gen.
So it must just be a cheaped out version because it's not even using USB-C, it's using micro USB. So they're just grabbing outdated tech and just putting together a cheap device.
Is somebody pulling our leg here? Is this a
Remember the
scam?
knee stick?
Yeah, yeah. Who's screwing with us here? Who's screwing with us here? Somebody left a comment here. Unless it's free, why would anybody care using this stick? They're talking about. They're assuming that it's going to be priced around $30, roughly $30. Ah, man, I don't know, dude. If this thing has okay, let's be real with a lot of stuff because I know we talk about true 4K TV. If this thing gives you 2K, 8 gigs of internal memory, or I'm sorry, 8 gigs of internal storage with 2 gigs of RAM, right? 8 and 2, it gives you 2K. This stick will officially be better than the Fire Stick Lite and the 3rd gen Fire Stick. Officially, it would be better because those two sticks only max out to 1080p. And if this one gives you 2K, what 2K does for you, it simulates a 4K quality picture where it looks a little bit sharper that 1080. And actually, you know what? I should rephrase that. It doesn't look a little bit sharper. The difference between 1080p and 2K, there is a difference. You can definitely see you could definitely see the clarity on it.
For sure.
So if they're saying like, hey, we can't give you the full 4K, but we're gonna give you some 2K quality with 8 gigs and 2 gigs, dude. That's better than the Fire Stick Lite and the 3rd gen Fire Stick.
You know, one of the reasons the Fire Stick Lite and the 3rd gen Fire Stick was so successful was because they didn't cheap out on the parts that mattered. They're using the same processor and the same RAM from the 4K Fire Stick. They just turned down the resolution. But this is using, I don't know. I see. I have no I have no precedence of the 805Y chips, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not too sure about that chip.
So I don't know.
The only thing I know is that it's from Amlogic, and Amlogic is good.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem to me, if you're going from 905 to 805, doesn't 805, it almost seems like it's going backwards, but are the Amlogic chips, because we've heard of the 900 series, are they doing backwards where, hey, 800s are going to be the next gen, and then 700s and then 600s? Because we've seen that too. We've seen it happen before where people call it a certain number and then they start going backwards from whatever number that is, meaning it's getting better and better. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm not sure. It's a tough to call. Tough to call. I don't know. We'll do some more research. We'll let you guys know what we do find with that one. You know what? You know what would be a really good episode? I know we talked about codecs. Like we should do an episode on codecs and talk about actually, yeah, that like, dude, this would be really good to talk about the different chipsets. Like we should go back like 2 years and talk about the different series that they've had. Rock chips, Amlogics, the
Mm-hmm.
Tegras, like all that stuff, and compare them, and then talk about future. What are they doing, and maybe trend it. Like this is what the trend is looking like. You know that'll be a good topic.
I used to have live streams where I would just go over all of the boxes on the market, like on GearBest and Banggood, and then talk about what's coming out in the future. I used to do that. People used to like that, so maybe we could. Yeah. Okay.
I got an idea. We'll talk after this.
All right.
Proceed, senor.
The next one that we have here is a very interesting article. You guys, if you've been hanging with us for a minute, or if you've been on the internet for the past few months, you would have seen a big, huge Twitter hack where a teenager got God mode and he started tweeting from Elon Musk, Kanye West, and a bunch of other people on their behalf and stealing Bitcoin. He would tell people, you know, if you transfer this, I'll send you this. And he made money off of that. So this article came out on March 16th. It says the teen mastermind behind the great Twitter hack is sentenced to 3 years in prison. His name is, I'm surprised they're even saying his name, because usually with teenagers, they don't mention their names in the article, but Graham Ivan Clark, he pled guilty to the attack that involved the takeover of dozens of high-profile accounts on the social network, according paperwork filmed in Florida on Tuesday. Clark, who was 17 when the accused of leading the scam, will spend 3 years in prison as part of the plea deal. The Tampa Bay Times reported the news earlier today. Clark has already been credited with 229 days of time served. So he's been serving time since this happened.
Dude, I'm looking at this like he took, like you said, Elon Musk. I didn't know he took over Bill Gates too.
Yeah, Bill Gates.
I did hear about Obama. I didn't know about Joe Biden.
Yep.
That's freaking nuts, dude. That just tells you. And hey, here comes the plug, guys. Be ready for it. Here comes the plug. This tells you that, dude, if a kid could hack into Twitter, which is a worldwide application that people use, like, dude, Bill Gates, like, okay, so for one, these guys like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, former President Obama, current President Joe Biden, people like this, they're not protected when they use Twitter. It's not their own account. They're just not protected. But these are reasons why we keep bringing up VPNs. These are reasons why we say get yourself a VPN, because crap like this could happen. If somebody goes in there and they figure out your username, your password, they look into your IP address, and then they could just pinpoint so much information. Like, I don't think you guys realize, if they capture your IP address, they know your exact location, like where you live. If they could do that, I'm pretty sure people have heard about hacking into their Ring cameras, their Ring security cameras, you know, and that's a security feature that people sell. You know, like the Ring company says, here's a camera to protect yourself, and then people are hacking into that. You know, like these are reasons why we say make sure you guys do protect yourself, because you don't know when crap. Dude, a 17-year-old, he was 17 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
17 years old, dude, when he figured this thing out. That is insane. And you know what's interesting too? Depending on how he did it with the whole cryptocurrency thing, because there's ways that it could be tracked now. You know, there's ways that you could track crypto. It used to be back in the day that you got this crazy long 50 million digit code that you had to remember. Now you could just use Robinhood, Coinbase. You could use all these apps, username, password you could buy, and you know it's being tracked. It's being more mainstreamed. What would be interesting is if this guy had all this money in there and then he started moving it around. So he's just like, whatever, I'll serve 3 years of jail. People were buying Bitcoin back in July of July 15th of 2020 last year, when Bitcoin was only worth about 3K. Whatever. And if they're sending him $100,000 when it was worth about roughly $3,000 to $4,000, and right now it's worth close to 60, and it's been bouncing up and down to 60, he's just kicking his feet up saying whatever.
But this kind of stuff needs to happen, though. I know that sounds kind of weird, but this kind of stuff needs to happen because people need to understand, just because somebody's rich and famous and they say they're going to give you money doesn't mean they're going to give you money. Right? You have to like have some common sense. Like Bill Gates isn't going to be like, "Oh, if you give me $100, then I'll give you 1,000." That's not how this shit works. Either you win something, or if you don't, then you lose something. Like,
Yeah.
it's so common now that we see this all over the internet. Oh, I made $43,000 doing this. You should join this group, or you should do this, or you should do that. Or Rojas posted a video on YouTube, and there's mini Rojas in the chat saying, join my WhatsApp group. Like, please just use a little common sense. Please.
Yep. Please. Here's a fun fact. I'm going to slide this in there. Someone's going to get mad. Oh no, you're talking. I'm leaving. I guess we're talking about taxes over here.
Yeah.
And there is this new tax that they're talking about that we're going to have to pay more money here in the States. I guess our new president, Joe Biden, they've been talking about pushing this new stimulus check, and now we're getting like 1,400 or 1,200 or whatever it is.
14, yeah.
That's like $1 billion in Canadian, you know?
Yeah.
So they are saying now that there's going to be this new tax coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
And our taxes are going to go up.
Taxes don't go down, though.
You heard? I don't know if you know about this, but in California, and I'm actually, dude, I'm actually really thinking about this.
Uh-huh.
In California, we are the only state that gets taxed for everything. Like, you sneeze, taxed. You're like, what the hell? Why? Dude, you pay here at so many different levels. So, you know, you get your wages taxed. Your work, your W-2. You get your wages taxed. You go and you buy groceries or gas or whatever. That's all being taxed. When you have to do your taxes, you have a state level tax and then a federal level tax. You have two different separate taxes. You also have this other tax for businesses. So if you're an entrepreneur like me, and you're like, hey, I got to pay tax for my business and I got to pay tax for my personal.
Right.
So I got to go double. For federal, they're just like, nope, just pay us once and we're good. At the state, they're just like, nope, we need this money and we need this money. And then that money that you sent to the federal, we need part of that too. It's like, what the hell? So there's, I know we talked about, there's an episode we did recently how Elon Musk left California. There's Tesla left California. Joe Rogan left California. There's like a lot of people that left California because they're just like, we don't want to pay this stupid California tax.
Right.
So they're leaving for different states. I'm actually really considering that right now.
Well, everyone's going to Texas because that's Silicon Valley 2.0, right?
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't want to go to Texas because it's a little deserty over there, but I don't know, man. I've been like, it's interesting because when you come to California and you see the beaches and you see everything, you're just like, damn, this is what you're paying for. You're paying for that good weather. You're paying for,
Right.
like there's a lot of stuff that you're paying for in California.
Right.
But I don't know, man. Like I love the beach, but I don't go to the beach all the time. I might go once or twice a year, maybe. And even then, I don't get in. I just go see the beach. Oh, there it is.
You could get a picture. You could look at it on your TV.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting how this thing is working and with the whole thing with taxes, but we'll go on to the next thing here. So YouTube can now warn creators about copyright issues before videos are posted. Now, the only thing I have with this issue, it talks about copyright content. It gives you a check thing. And I've noticed this, that I've been getting this, like when I'm loading my videos, it's been telling me like, hey, it's checking if I have anything copywritten. The only thing, I didn't see this on here, is I wish they would have something about the community guidelines, because you could have tons of videos out there that are not copywritten content, but like there's some stuff in there within your community guidelines, like bypassing goods and services, harmful acts, scams, or so. Like there's people out there that are like, hey, this is how you can get rich quick. This is how, send me some Bitcoin and you'll be doing this. There's just so many things that you can do and get away with from YouTube. And they're not addressing it. They're saying like, oh, copyright content. Cool. That doesn't mean like, for example, my situation, they're not addressing the issue. I didn't get shut down because of any copyright content.
Mm-hmm.
I got shut down because a community guideline.
Right.
And even then, they claimed it that it was an error and they're trying to fix it, which I've been sitting here for months. And now they're like, oh no, it's because we got a lot of complaints or something. And I'm just like, complaints of what? Like, is it copyright content? Then cool. Send me the copyright and I'll take them to court then, if that's the case, because that's the process.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just dicking around right now. They're just like, oh no, we'll just drag our feet and, so this will now flag if it's potentially, or not even potentially, it tells you, hey, this is you have copyright content. But the only thing that I have that is, they're not addressing the issues, is your community guidelines. This thing should check if it hits any of those community guidelines. It should say between this time and this time. And if it doesn't know, put the whole length of the video then. It could hit a community guideline for, and then state what it is that it found. And then give us the opportunity to say like, okay, cool. Like, let me take this out. And you know what, it will even be better if they even did that, take it a step further. When it highlights the community guideline for whatever it is, sometimes they age restricts things that makes no sense on age restriction.
Yeah.
It should be linked. That should be a hyperlink that you could click it, opens up a new tab and takes you to their community guidelines for that specific reason.
Right.
So that way we could educate ourselves, since you guys don't want to educate us.
I kind of feel like this is a false hope. Like this feature is going to give people false hope, because 100% of the times, because they're saying this is supposed to eliminate seeing the yellow icon, right? But every single video that I would put up has the yellow icon, almost every single video, right? And when I get it reviewed, they take it away, right? What this tells me is that it's going to flag it for some reason to say it's demonetized, and then I'm going to have to go through a longer process to get it monetized anyways. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, it doesn't sound any different from the checklist that YouTubers have to go through when they upload a video right now. You're like, do you have any of this included? And then you automatically say no. And then even though I would say no to that stuff, I would still get the yellow icon. So it doesn't, I don't know. It sounds like a smoke, what do they call it? Smoke screen, smoke diversion,
Smoke and mirrors.
smoke and mirrors. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's dumb. It's dumb. It's just, it makes zero sense. Yeah, like there is. So for you guys who don't know, when we upload a video, they added a feature a few months back that we confirm if there's any community guidelines that we're putting in there. It says, are you using abusive words? Or actually, no, it doesn't even say, do you ask? It says, if you do any of this stuff, you have to do the checkbox. So, like, do you use abusive words? You checkbox it if it's yes, or you leave it 0, no. In dangerous acts or content, no. Scams or whatever, no. Redirecting for whatever, no. So it has the community guidelines and its categories, and then at the very bottom it says none of these. Once you click none of these, it says great, thank you. I even get a notification saying, because you have been very consistent and being truthful with your videos after reviewing, you are now a trusted partner with YouTube community guidelines. Sweet. So mine says great news all the time. Every time I get to that page, it says great news, you're trusted, blah, 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 blah. And I have that access thing to just click no right away. So I just skip, nope, go through the process. Good. What do they do? Shut down. Cody shut down. Sucks. It sucks. I'm done.
I don't believe anything they say.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything they say. Their parent company, Google, is following Apple with a new ruling. So when we first started this podcast, it felt like every week we were talking about 30% this and 30% that. Applications on, different app stores being charged 30%. And it was like stupid that these applications had to pay 30%. Even when people were making in-app purchases through these apps, Google and Apple were taking 30% and not even having to do anything for this 30% cut. But here, Google's
doing what Apple's doing. Google follows Apple in cutting Apple Play fees for developers. Well, the thing in the beginning is we were talking about Apple a lot in the beginning. We did mention Google every now and then, but it was the way Apple was doing it. And the reason why we didn't mention Google, because Google was doing the exact same thing that Apple was doing. But the difference between the two is they were charging 30% to like WordPress or 30% to a free app. And they're like, what's 30% of free?
That was crazy. That episode was hilarious.
And that's the reason why Apple was getting so much scrutiny over this, because they made a comment saying that first they said, oh, our bad, we apologize. And then afterwards they were saying like, hey, you need to put some kind of fee on it so we can collect 30% of that. It's just like, what? Like, no, it's free. Yeah. And people were coming down their throats on that. They're like, dude, are you kidding me? So it says here, developers will pay reduced 15% service fee on digital goods and services they sell until they reach 1 million in revenue for the year. So what does that mean? Once they hit 1 million, it goes up to 30?
That's a good question.
Oh, here it goes. So the change will kick in July 1st. And it will apply to every developer regardless of size. Doesn't matter if you're a little guy or it doesn't matter if you're big tech. The fee will jump to the standard 30% once developers make more than 1 million in sales for a year. That's okay. Free tech, horse shit. That's what free tech would say. That is horse shit. That is insane. So what do you do? What do you do? Like once you hit $1 million in revenue, now they charge you 30% because you're making more money. They want more money.
You know, this is only going to all this additional 15% is only going to go to lawyers. This is how I see it going down. And Epic has been battling with lawyers with all of these markets because they're like, no, we want people to go through us instead of you guys. Why are you taking our money? So now Epic is paying for lawyers because they're making more money to fight Google and Apple, who is taking 30% because Epic is making more money. So now this additional 15%, because Epic is making more than $1 million in sales a year, is all going to lawyers. So who wins in this scenario? The lawyers win.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It sucks, dude. What are you gonna say?
I kind of feel like it should be like 10%. And then if they go over $1 million in sales, to 15. 30 in general is stupid. Right?
Well, 30. Okay, so people might ask, like, where is this 30 coming from? 30 is a very old school thing in the past that they used to charge 30% when they were housing something. Literally,
Yes.
like when they were housing, like, so imagine Amazon, I'm over here selling I don't know, Buzz TV. I'm got my shirt on. So I'm selling Buzz TV boxes and I'm just like, hey, I want Amazon to house it in their warehouse. They would charge a 30% to take care of like shipping and
Right.
their website. Yeah, all of it, all of that stuff, you know? So what that makes sense because it's a physical good and they're doing work for you. Now, with this is a digital
asset.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Like it's they don't even have a server. Do they have a server to house these apps?
I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It would
But
be
even,
like
it would be minimal.
Like all it would be is like from what I'm like in, like I'm just kind of putting a couple things together here, but their app store, it's just a interface that has a link that could download it from them directly.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Epic, for example, needs to do an update, they're going to do it on their servers and on their end. They'll update the number, you'll get a notification, because for them to submit it to Google or to Apple, too long of a process, way too long. So yeah, they're not even paying. So okay, so if they want to say like, hey, there's a server that they got to pay because if we're gonna advertise it on our stuff, I agree with what you're saying. 10% sounds good because you're doing absolutely nothing. If you make over $1 million because they're gonna ping the crap out of your server or your website or whatever, okay, go up to 15% because now you got to add a DDoS or whatever, you know, or traffic flow, whatever it is. But the thing is, when they go to your app store or when they go to your stuff, they have ads on there. They're already getting ad revenue.
Yeah.
So this is just money hungry, dude. This is just, I don't know. To me, this sounds like just greedy CEOs at the top saying like, hey, we own it all. So you want to use it, pay for it.
Now they're just trying to be less greedy, but still greedy.
Yeah, still greedy. Wait till you hit $1 million and then we'll charge you this much. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Karen. So Google faces 5 billion lawsuits in US for tracking private internet use. Google lawsuits for the win. How many, like, I know last year Google was in some heat with lawsuits.
Yeah, because last year we had Sonos, we had Epic, and a couple other ones. But I mean, Google's in everything, so they're bound to get lawsuits from everywhere too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think personally, and let me just go ahead and pull this up here. Google was sued on Tuesday in a proposed class action accusing internet search companies of illegally invading the privacy of millions of users by tracking their internet use through browsers set in private mode.
In incognito.
Man, the lawsuit seeks 5 billion. Dude, this, like,
I use incognito mode.
See, okay, they just need to stop. Like, they need to stop. Google is the world's largest search engine. So people don't use Firefox. People don't use Internet Explorer. People don't use Oprah or Opera or whatever the hell. People don't use that. So the few people that do use it, good for you. But the first term, everybody, like, when they're saying like, hey, people don't say, hey, you need to go search that. They literally have come up, they made up a word and they made up a term and they made up literally, they made this crap up, a phrase. Hey, go Google it. And you instantly already know that means I got to go to the internet and search for it. It doesn't matter if I use Firefox, Internet Explorer. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you use. Oprah. Doesn't matter what you use. When people say go Google it, you already know that I got to go to the internet and search for it.
They did something that Ask Jeeves wish he could have accomplished. Go ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. Yeah.
Right.
I remember that was around for
that way.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of feel like this is going to start to either wake people up or push people more towards things like Brave browser. And Brave browser, you know, they all talk about privacy, and Brave browser's built off of the blockchain, and they're involved in cryptocurrency, and there's a big wave about cryptocurrency right now. A lot of people don't know that most of the browsers, if not all of the browsers, even including Microsoft Edge, is built off of Chromium, which is the core behind Chrome browser. So
it's some monkey BS crap. This is dumb, man. It's just, I don't know. Google already makes so much money. Like, okay, some people might ask this, and maybe we could clarify this. When you Google something, sometimes you don't see an ad. Actually, most of the time you don't see an ad. You don't see a big old advertisement that says VPN.
There
you
are
know?
ads. There are ads, though.
But there are ads. Now, where are the ads? The second you search, at the very top, the first 5 lines that come out, you'll see the words AD in black, bold, huge, right next to that link, ad. So if I'm like, hey, if somebody puts in best VPN, I want the rohas VPN up there at the top. I want the Beyond the Streams VPN at the top. That's what I want. I want the Yoda behind Next Level VPN at the top. The force is strong with this one VPN.
That's not the only way they advertise, though, right? They dictate in which order those links show up. Secondly, if you notice, the first thing that always shows up is YouTube videos. And who owns YouTube? They do. Cool. So if you click on those, they make ad revenue off the advertisements on the YouTube videos, right? I remember one time somebody told me to meet them at a gas station. So I typed in the address for the gas station in Google, and it took me to YouTube, and I found a YouTube channel of a guy who reviews car washes in all the gas stations in my province. Amazing. Yeah. He's making millions of views off of reviewing car washes. I never would have thought it, but I found it because I typed in an address in Google.
Here's the other thing that's interesting. You think your Gmail is free?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You get ads on there like crazy. You'll get advertisements in there. Like every now and then you'll notice that you'll get like a random Gmail or email, and it'll say, same thing with Yahoo. Yahoo makes it a little bit more noticeable when you're scrolling. You'll see a giant ad that's like scanning through it. You're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
But Gmail, they'll throw you an ad. It'll be like it'll say updates or promotion. And then you'll be like, oh, I got an email. Oh, what's this? I won $1,000.
They send Bill Gates $100 in Bitcoin. I'll get $1 million.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, dude. I don't get it, but
The article goes on to say the complainant said the proposed class likely includes millions of Google's users who, since June 1st, 2016, browsed the internet in private mode. I would venture to say it's not on the low end of, it's not 1 million or 2 million. There's a lot of people that use this stuff on a daily basis. Like I said, I use this, right? Because there's certain things I have different logins on under, and on my different monitors, I may access one account in incognito mode and another account on regular mode, right? They're saying it seeks at least $5,000 of damages per users that violates federal wiretapping and California privacy laws. Now, I think if I'm correct, you can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but does that mean that the random person, if this was to actually go through, then everybody could be qualified for a check up to $5,000? They would just have to go to the website and say, yeah, this affected me, and they wouldn't have to prove it.
Dude, they would go bankrupt if everybody did that.
No, but it's usually up to a certain amount. Like I know a lot of times if there's recalls, like for once there was one about prepaid credit cards recently, right? And I just went on and I just said, yeah, I used it from this date to this date, and I got a free $50 thing that's coming to me in the mail, right? But they usually say it's up to a certain amount of people that qualify for it. With class action suits, it says it affects this amount of people, and a class action suit forces them to pay out to a certain amount of people, and once it's paid out, then it's done, right? They usually don't ask you to verify. I don't believe that it's going to be 5,000. I think that it's going to be probably, if it does go through, a lesser of amount, and probably obviously a set limit, like 1 million people might get $10 or something. I don't know. I'm just saying that's usually how class action lawsuits work when they go through. I think. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a random dude on the internet who has no idea what they're talking about.
Well, Mr. Random Dude on the internet that has no idea that you're talking about, if you see the thing that says make sure you do file or whatever, let me know, because I do use incognito too. I want my better.
Now, speaking about things that I have no idea what I'm talking about, I don't have a surround sound system in my place. I just use regular old tech. But Lucid, a company that I've been following since it's been big in the news about the EV world, electric cars, they're getting the same Dolby Atmos surround sound tech used in movie theaters that are going in their vehicles, in a car. Like, you want THX sound, or you want, like, it's some crazy stuff, man. Like, we recently did a live show and we talked about having screens in your car, and that could be distracting. But you imagine somebody in your car is watching a movie and you hear a siren and it's all around you and it's whipping around, and you think that's not going to be distracting?
You know what kind? This would be a pretty badass experience because you're in a closed environment.
You're in a soapbox.
You're like, whoa. Oh man, it would be insane to see this. It would be insane. Now, Dolby Atmos is some great stuff, surround sound. I just upgraded my truck to some JL's speakers, and they're just freaking insane, But yeah, dude, I would love to sit in there and just hear exactly how this thing sounds like,
So it goes on to say that the system scatters 21 speakers around the car's cabin, providing front, rear, side, and vertical elevated height channels that work together to create the illusion of sound moving around the drivers and the passengers. They worked with Dolby to tune the car's system to attempt to mimic the auditory presence of Capitol Records Studios' C recording space. Passengers can expect precise, directional sound from music, whether listening to surround encoded Dolby Atmos music, audio tracks of traditional stereo recordings.
Nuts. That is like some serious stuff right there.
So this all came out in regards to an announcement on last Wednesday. They said that the technology will improve the vehicle's safety thanks to the directional audio for notifications, warnings, and alerts. I don't know. I don't really think that I want a warning or alert that sounds like it's buzzing over my shoulder. But this is supposed to be coming with the deliveries that are expected to begin in the second half of 2021. So this year. So look out for Dolby Atmos to a car near you.
You watch too many Harry Potter movies. Dolby likes a shit, please.
Oh man. Okay. So the next article is Elon Musk to Mars. No, Elon Musk shows off his shiny new SpaceX Starship. So now he's starting to show off the spaceships instead of just blow them up. SpaceX is building and testing Starship prototypes as Elon Musk looks ahead to Earth's orbit, the moon, and then perhaps someday Mars. Elon wants to populate Mars. Everybody knows this. I'm pretty sure he's a Martian. He just won't admit it. So it says SpaceX Starship shines in Texas. SpaceX plans to leave Earth's orbit, starts with a Starship, a next-gen spaceship that could one day deploy satellites, carry artists around the moon, and even touch down on Mars. So this is the future that we're looking at. But why is it so shiny? Wouldn't it reflect the sunlight and like blind people?
I don't know. Maybe it's because solar. Look at this thing. This thing looks like a bomb. It doesn't look like.
So it says the Starship will look like liquid silver. Musk tweeted in late 2018, SpaceX is working on an orbitable prototype in Texas and putting a series of test vehicles through short flights, which we've been seeing this year. And it's been interesting to see every time that one of its spaceships blows up, the stock goes down a little bit. And then before the spaceships go in the air, the stock goes up a little bit. So it's kind of like the spaceships themselves, the stock chart.
Yeah.
He said that he wants to put a Starship into orbit as soon as July 2021. So I think this is, I don't know if this is a precedent, because prior to this year, in order to really get spaceships in the air, you had to be a country. Now you just got to be a Tony Stark.
He is our modern day Tony Stark. He will have a Tony Stark suit. Watch. It's going to happen.
So is this how he gets Dogecoin to the moon?
Probably. He's like, look, I told you I was going to get it to the moon. And now we are setting up Dogecoin at the moon, even though it's still worth like 2 cents.
You imagine, because before we would have countries that would plant their flag on the moon, right? Do you imagine if he just goes there and he plants a Dogecoin flag on the moon? And if countries like the United States of America or Russia or China or whoever don't like it, do you know how much money they would have to spend to go to the moon to remove that flag?
For real. Or they'll just tell Elon, hey, you know what? You put it up there, you go get it down.
Or the US would just tax him more. 30% more.
30% more. Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know. It's interesting how all of a sudden we have a much. Remember back with Neil Armstrong, there's this huge space race, the United States, the Russians, who was going to do it first? And it was just a huge race on who was going to get there. Now, and you know what? Ever since we got up there, everybody's been very quiet.
Very.
It's kind of like, I know there was a movie that came out and said, why did the world, once they got to the moon, became quiet about it? And they started talking about like aliens living there and that they could attack us. And there's some sicknesses there that could really wipe out Earth. There's like a lot of rumors and conspiracy theories about it.
Or if we actually ever went.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It got very, very quiet for a very long time.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden there's this huge thing about we're going to Mars. And it's crazy because just to think about like all of a sudden how like, we have a whole thing called SpaceX that when Trump announced it, everybody thought it was a joke. They made a TV show on it.
Space Force.
Yeah, Space Force.
I watched that. It was a good show, man.
It was a good show. I liked it too. Yeah, I saw the whole thing already. We could talk about that. I know for you people who don't know out there, you people, I don't like to talk about certain shows that's on my watch list because I don't want things to get spoiled. I just want to watch them, and it is what it is. So,
But the problem is with TV shows in their first season is that you don't know if you want to get invested yet because so many shows get canceled after their first season.
I get invested after the second episode. If the first episode catches my eye on something, I'll give it a chance, even though I might not be interested. If the second episode is the same, I normally give up by then. But I'll watch the season, and this is what I do because there'll be some shows out there that would just be like complete trash.
Yeah.
If I get invested after the second episode, however it ends, I'm like, cool, that's how it ends. It's done. It's over. Even if they might leave you with a cliffhanger, I'm actually okay with cliffhangers because it leaves it as an open book. Like whatever happens from here, it's kind of like have you watched the show The 100?
No, but a lot of people talk about it. I know. Maybe one day.
Damn it. Okay, I don't want to spoil it.
It's okay. Go ahead. I don't care.
No. We've watched WandaVision.
Uh-huh.
If they ended that show exactly like that, I'm cool with it. It could be like, oh, she's finally tapping into her Scarlet Witch and not just Wanda. You know, it's actually getting into there, and then now she's gonna be like the comic book that we know, blah blah blah.
Right,
whatever.
right.
I'm cool with it just like that. People are saying like, oh, what happened to Vision? Well, the original Vision woke the White Vision up, and maybe he went back to what's it called, Wakanda. Where that's where he was last known to have life. That battle. Maybe he went there. Maybe he went back to the what's her name? The sister.
Yeah,
the one sister. The one that was taking everything. Maybe to go get some more answers. Like, hey, why were you trying to do this? Like, maybe he went there. Like, trust me, we should have. I know you've been talking about it that we should have a conversation about this. Maybe we should. Maybe we'll bring the guys from I Just Watched to have a conversation on it. Because I have all these theories of what could actually happen. I don't know. But
let's get back to Starships.
We'll see. We'll see what's going on. It's been very, very quiet, and it's been very weird. To me, it's been very weird.
I think he's announcing this now because the last one that he sent up actually went up about 10 kilometers, and he was, for the first time, able to land it. So the spaceship go up, a little later come down, and it landed. So he's like, well, I landed one. Let's go to the moon.
Why not? Why not? Okay, so we're going to end this with, it's funny, we're just talking about WandaVision and went back to SpaceX. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is starting soon. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, we haven't seen any episode yet, and Next Level is probably going to be going crazy stupid on why I don't want to talk about it once he starts to watch it, because I don't like to watch certain specific shows, especially when it has to do with Marvel stuff, until the season ends. So I actually timed WandaVision. I started watching it 3 days before the last episode. And then the night before the last episode, I had one more episode to watch, episode 8, and then episode 9 came out that night. So that Friday, I watched the last 2 episodes, and I was like, dude, this is freaking nuts. So I'm pretty sure Next Level is not going to be too happy with me when he starts to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he can't talk about it because I haven't watched anything, and I'm not going to watch anything until the season ends. Sorry. But let's talk about some hypotheticals. So we know for a flat fact that Captain America is now an old man, and he handed over the shield to Falcon. Now, comic books He gives it to the Winter Soldier. He gives it to Bucky. Disney is doing this thing where they're passing it over to Falcon because they're trying to do something a little bit different. And I'm okay with it. I am actually okay with how they're doing it. I'm trying to think. I don't know if Falcon ever really did wield the shield. I don't know if he did in the comic books. I don't think he ever did. So I think they're doing something new, which again, I'm cool with it as long as they do this right. The way they're doing it with the two characters, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think makes sense. I haven't. So I know Next Level's going to hate me on this one. I haven't really seen too many previews or sneak peeks on the show. Have you, Next Level?
No, I was never really interested too much in those characters without their supporting. Like to me, they were more supporting other bigger characters.
Right.
So I'm probably gonna watch it, but I'm not as interested in it. And I know people are probably gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" I'm not as interested in it as I was for WandaVision, because those are A-role actors. They're not necessarily supporting actors, and I think Bucky has a great story. I don't know enough about Falcon to really be interested yet. So, and I think because of that, I wasn't really searching into previews or trailers or anything like that. I kind of just want to take it in as it gives it to me when the show starts.
Cool. So you're doing the exact thing that I like to do on every single Marvel movie, every single Star Wars, like the TV shows so far from Marvel. This is exact your approach right now of what you're doing is how I'm doing it and how I've been doing it with things that I'm very, very interested with. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to know nothing. I don't want nothing to spoil it. So this is actually a great conversation then. Based on the last things that you've seen with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, knowing their stories, what do you think is going to happen with the show? Like, do you think they're going to relive something? Do you think they're going to bring back a villain?
So I kind of want to address what you started saying when you said in the comics, Bucky has the shield, right? And in what's happening right now, Falcon has it. And I think that it actually makes sense that Falcon has it versus Bucky, because Bucky has a name to, I guess, wash or fix, right? Bucky's been known to be manipulated and to be used as a hitman, and he's worked for Hydra. He's worked for a lot of different evil organizations, right? And Falcon's known to have more of an upstanding role in society. I don't know what's going on with your hair there, Astro Boy, but but I think that it's a good transition. So even if the shield eventually goes to Bucky, I think Bucky has to earn the shield, kind of like how Thor had to earn Milner,
Oprah,
Yahtzee,
Yahtzee.
But I think maybe that's the whole storyline. Maybe it's Bucky going through the transitions, trying to become worthy of taking the mantle from Captain America, and maybe it's Falcon kind of guiding him through that role.
I think it's going to be exactly what you're saying. I think Falcon is going to struggle because he's like, one of the things he last said, he was just like, Captain America says, "How does it feel?" And he's like it's not mine. And he's letting him know, like, dude, this isn't me. Like, I'm the Falcon. I'm not Captain America. And I think what's going to happen is, because Cap is now, quote unquote, retired for the time being, I think what's going to happen is the Winter Soldier is kind of going to mentor him a little bit. And while at the same time, Falcon is doing exactly what you're saying, kind of clean his name up a little bit.
Right.
And I think it's going to be very, what's that movie with Keanu Reeves?
John Wick.
John Wick. I think it's gonna be like a John Wick style. Not that everybody's hunting them, but that it's very raw and very like city, and they're or like you know how he's traveling everywhere and they're like going after them and trying to. I think it's gonna be very similar like that. They're not gonna be, you know, like you said, he's kind of like the hitman. Falcon's not. Falcon's like the good old boy.
Yeah.
But I think people are gonna be attacking them like if they're wanted number one, and it's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna be Hydra. I don't know who specifically it's gonna be, but I have a feeling, I just have this weird gut feeling that they're gonna bring back the only one person that makes sense to me right now. And again, I haven't seen trailers or nothing. So if I hit this right on the freaking head, it's just I just pay attention to this stuff big time. Remember the bad guy from Captain America and the Winter Soldier?
Red Skull.
No. There was a guy. Uh, was it Civil War? Civil War?
Yeah.
It was Civil War. Not the Winter Soldier. It was Civil War. Captain America, Civil War, and at the end, huh?
Alexander Pierce.
Yeah, I think that was the main bad guy, right? He had like no powers, but he was kind of like orchestrating everything.
Right.
And they were getting the Winter Soldiers up, and Iron Man and Cap were just fighting, and then they arrested him. I have a feeling because with WandaVision, what I noticed was they got the Asian guy, the police guy from Ant-Man to come in, and then they got the girl from Thor, the doctor, to come in. And then they got Rambeau, which was from Captain Marvel, to come in, and they're now pushing these roles, which I think is freaking genius. I'm very glad they're not forgetting the little people, those very small roles in those movies. I'm glad that they're bringing them into the TV shows. I have a feeling because this guy, he had a very small role. They did show him like, you know, a little bit here and there, and then his plot was actually much bigger. It would be awesome to have him come back in. Somehow he escapes from jail or whatever, and to trigger something back from the Winter Soldier. I think they took everything out of his brain or his arm or whatever it was that triggered him. But I think it would be really cool if they brought him back in and started like make him the villain. Just make him the villain, and I think it would tie in so cool. Now, the other thing is, I don't know who else they would bring in when it comes to other characters from different shows and stuff.
Right.
I hope they do look into what's it called? Peggy Carter, her daughter.
Right.
She had a daughter. I hope they bring her into this too, because she had a lot of conversations with Captain America, and she's she's much younger. So I hope they look into some of those Captain America movies, and because Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they mainly appeared with Captain America with his movies. So bring some of those smaller roles into this TV show, and I think we're going to have something really special, I think.
I would like to see. Okay, so that's kind of Bucky's journey that he has to go through, right? But I think the biggest thing that Falcon's going to have to deal with is going to be himself, because he's going to say things like, I'm not a leader, I'm not Captain America. And then there's going to be things, including himself, that challenges him wielding the shield. And he's going to be the biggest issue for that. And he's going to fight with that battle for the rest of his life as long as he holds that shield, right? But we have 7 seasons of Shield, 7 seasons of bad guys who have run through that franchise. I would like to see some of them reappear.
Yeah.
Right? It kind of makes sense.
Dude, I kind of got chills just you saying that, because I watched every single episode.
Me too.
And there's some bad guys in there that deserve a bigger platform.
Or just coming back.
Yeah. Don't bring Agent Coulson.
Yeah, he's leave him on Tahiti.
Yeah, don't bring Agent May. Don't bring
bad guys.
Yeah, bad guys. Bring in some of the bad guys. You know, if you want to bring in anybody from the Shield, bring in Quake.
Quake is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, bring in Quake and bring in I forget Peggy Carter's daughter, but bring her in. Bring the bad guy that was controlling the winter, the Winter Soldier, and bring in like another villain from that TV show to come in to help orchestrate this whole thing.
Mhm.
Because now you don't have to address freaking Coulson coming back to life like 10 times. You know, you don't have to address anything like that. All you have to do is connect the dots.
That's it.
That's it. Just bring even if it's not Quake. If you want to bring in somebody like oh my gosh, there's so many bad guys in
like
Shield.
Quake's mom, she deserves a pretty big role too. Like,
if they could bring somebody in, damn man, just bring in one bad guy. Just one. Bring in one bad guy from there.
Season.
Yeah, for this season. Bring one bad guy, drop him in. And yeah, and then they could just start connecting so many stories together without addressing anything at all whatsoever. It's kind of like WandaVision that you see Petro, you know, and then people are thinking like, oh, like freaking multiverse, and because we know this is going to connect to the multiverse of madness, it's you could definitely tell they were talking about the Sorcerer Supreme and she's stronger, and then one of her sons was dressed up like freaking Doctor Strange. There's so many things that was addressed in that. I kind of hope, oh man, I don't know if I'm putting my foot in my mouth on this one. I hope they don't use Quicksilver from X-Men, how they use them in WandaVision, Petro. I hope they don't use him as Quicksilver at all. I hope they don't. I don't know. I hope they don't use it like, oh, he was the same X-Men from the other, from some other multiverse. I hope they don't do that. I hope they maybe make him into a Quicksilver to say, hey, he actually got the gene now or something. And just never address those other movies, never address anything over there. Just let people connect their own dots in their own head. Make people make up their own stories in their own head. Just don't address it. He's there. Go for it.
You know who I want? I want an origin story of the Red Hulk.
But see, you could do that with She-Hulk. With She-Hulk, do that with She-Hulk. Do the whole thing where she's a lawyer and she does all that stuff. Dude, you know what would be badass? Not only bringing Red Hulk into She-Hulk, though. I want to say Netflix, their clauses with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. I think all of that stuff is about to end. Because there's a cooldown. Yeah, I think so. I think Daredevil was the first one that pulled its plug. And then I think it was, oh my gosh,
Jessica Jones.
No, Jessica Jones was the last one.
Oh, Iron Fist.
Iron Fist,
yeah,
and then Luke Cage, and then Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Now the Defenders, that was done before, but the thing is that you can't use any of those characters because you have to wait till the cooldown period. So they can't just say Defenders 2, Heroes for Hire. They can't do none of that. But I want to say Daredevil is just about done with this stuff. How crazy would it be? Because She-Hulk is a lawyer, Daredevil is a lawyer, and they bring him into She-Hulk, and then somehow they bring in the Hulk, they should, and Red Hulk. Dude, think about this. They could now connect the dots without addressing a single damn thing. Just drop in Daredevil, drop in that actor in there with She-Hulk. Oh man, you know how good that could be? And don't
get too excited. This won't come out until 2023.
I know. So don't get your panties in a bunch. But dude, 2023, are you kidding me?
I'm just throwing a number out there.
When does She-Hulk come out? Now I'm kind of curious. When does She-Hulk come out?
I'll check 1 second.
So this will be interesting. I want to say Daredevil's clause is next year. Okay, Daredevil should be home free by then. And I want to say Iron Fist is pretty close behind that. I want to say it's like 5 years from whenever their last episode was. But Iron Fist is very close after that. And they left us with a cliffhanger on Iron Fist with Luke Cage and the Shaolin and all that stuff. They left us, dude. What is that movie? Marvel's doing a movie with the Asians. They're doing a whole Asian culture with the 10 rings. I forget what the movie's called. It's coming out in a few years.
But I just Googled Daredevil, and there's an article from January 11th that says Marvel boss says never say never to Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage coming to Disney Plus.
See, I'm telling you, they're probably going to bring the TV shows into Disney Plus, but those characters, their clause on Netflix, I think ends pretty damn soon. And if it does, dude, those characters are free. They could now bring the exact same actors and everything into this universe, connect the dots, and call it a freaking day, dude. I think it would be awesome. But remember, Luke Cage and Iron Fist had a thing at the very end of, I think it was Iron Fist's show, and it was talking about the Shaolin and Kung Lung and all that stuff. Yeah. But there is a movie. Look this one up, I guess, real quick. I don't want to look it up because I don't want to see something I don't want to see. Okay. There is a movie with the Asian community, and I don't know if it's Chinese. I forget which character it is, but it's called something and the 10 Rings, and it has to do with Shaolin, I think, and Kung Lung and all that crap. Shang-Chi, yeah, dude. They could bring an Iron Fist in that.
Well, Iron Fist is supposed to be involved in that, though. In the comics, he is, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. With all these clauses finally being released, like free range, they could bring Iron Fist and that character into this movie. She-Hulk, they could bring in Daredevil into that movie. Dude, with Jessica Jones, because she's a private eye, they could bring her into season 2 of She-Hulk. They could bring, or they could just say, hey, you know what? Let's just do Heroes for Hire as soon as all of them are done. Like, they could do so much with this freaking thing, and I'm just like stoked on it because I don't know. Some of these shows are really, really good. So yeah, we'll have to make a whole separate episode on just this stuff because it's a good convo, and I think it's already been 20 minutes since we started with the whole Disney Marvel stuff. So
be like Beyond the Streams presents Marble. Oh my god,
Marble
slab,
marbles. There you go.
Beyond the Streams just lost their marbles.
Oh man, so we hope you've enjoyed this episode. I know we kind of went on a crazy long tangent, and we could go, man, on the MCU. It could be a whole hour and a half on just that, on just what could be, can be. So, and we're gonna have to bring in my cousin Junior, and we'll see if we could bring, if any of the other guys from I Just Watched available to come in, because I know they'll have a good time geeking out with us on that
for sure.
So, any last words before we get out of here, man?
We know you love us, so make sure you give us a review, drop us a comment, like us, do all that kind of good stuff. Share us with a family member or a friend. There's so much good content that we are dropping, we're bringing to you, and we're keeping you guys updated with all the latest and greatest stuff. So just do us a favor, really helps us out. Make sure you give us a review on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Give us a like and a comment if you're watching us on YouTube, and all that kind of good stuff. Make sure you check out the links in the description because we always have good stuff for you guys. And yeah, that's all I got, man.
Sweet. So yeah, stay tuned to the next episode, guys. Actually, you know what? Next week we got a really, really good one coming up for you guys. We have some really good lineups. We are working on getting some more people on here. You never know who's going to be stopping by, so stay tuned and make sure you guys share this with friends, share the video. If you're listening to us, share the audio. We are on every single platform out there. You could just say Alexa or Hey Google or Hey Juanita or whatever, play Beyond the Streams podcast and you'll be able to find it. So stay tuned and yeah, take care of each other. Don't be dumb and silly out there. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace. Peace.